So you want to have the perfect fall season. If a stalker was following you around and taking a bunch of photos, it will be Pinterest worthy. But the problem is you're broke. If you are on a tight budget and you feel bad and you feel left out because it seems like everybody can afford to do all this fun stuff that you can't. But don't worry, in this video, I am going to share some things that you can do to still have the Pinterest perfect fall without going completely broke or your bank account hitting zero. If it wasn't for this part right here, I would never even care about fall, I'm being honest. That is probably the only reason why I am a fall girly. It's only the reason why fall is my favorite time of the year. I love to do a home reset for fall. I love to make my home feel like the weather that's going on outside inside my house. And I like to make my home just look different than the rest of the year, because the whole year your home's the same, looks the same every single day. There's nothing exciting or new about it. But the moment I put on the fall playlist I found on YouTube and light a pumpkin spice candle or apple pie scented candle or even cinnamon roll scented candle and just start putting up decorations, that makes me just get excited for fall season. I have this little ritual. I set aside a day where I just decorate my home. I put on the fall playlist on YouTube. I put it on my TV, and sometimes I even put on the fall movie. It just depends. A movie, a music playlist or whatever. And then I light my candles, get the whole house smelling good. And then I pull out all my decor. I hang up the fall leaf garlands. I put pumpkin pillows on the couch and I change the sheets. I just do everything that makes my home look like fall. And to be honest, you really do not have to go to Hobby Lobby, or you got to go to Michael's or even Target to get expensive fall decor. When I first started decorating my home for fall, a lot of it was at Dollar Tree first, and then a few was at Amazon, but mainly I shop at Dollar Tree, y'all. Don't sleep on Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree got some really nice stuff. I mean, you're near a Dollar General as well. Go to Dollar General and get some stuff. Those decor is affordable and it looks cute. And another thing that I did a few years ago, I haven't done it again, I don't know why, but I would go on Pinterest and I would print out pictures of fall, maybe some quotes or affirmations about fall season, and I would go to Dollar Tree and get a photo frame and I'll print it out on my printer and I'll put it in the frame and I would put it maybe on the wall or on a bookshelf. And one year I put it in my kitchen table and I put like a nice little apple display beside it. And I haven't done this in a minute, but I would go outside and pick up pine cones and I'll just collect pine cones, maybe even some fall leaves, and I will use that as some DIY decor. If you look around my decoration and all my other decor videos, you notice that I still use those pine cones for when I outside and collect them. It is really fun to do, and it's a nice, super easy DIY project you could do for your home. And you can also go to Walmart and just pick up some pumpkins and just sit it on your porch, and that's what I did one year. But just letting you know, if you do use pumpkins, you're gonna have to deal with snails. They would try to eat up your pumpkins, and one year I had to throw a pumpkin out because they put a hole throughout all my pumpkins. So I had to get some salt and just put a ring of salt around my pumpkins, and that kept the slugs away. Another thing I really want to do this year is do an autumn simmer pot. I think it has orange slices, cinnamon sticks, and I can't remember what else you put in there, but I always wanted to do that. So I definitely want to make that this year because the whole house smelling so good. If you don't do any refresh or reset for fall, at least make your home smell like fall. Make a scent or aroma go through your house so people walk in, they think that you're baking like a yummy treat. And also another thing about resetting your home, I would use fall season to do a deep clean. If you haven't done a deep clean in your house for a while, take advantage of this new season and just clean up your whole entire home. Just letting your brain say, hey, we're in a new season, we're in a new part of the year. We need to make our home look nice, refreshed, maybe wash your sheets, change out your sheets, to deep clean your room, throw away things you don't need, and just start all over. Use fall season as a way to start all over again. The perfect time to start a hobby. Now, me personally, I have fallen short on having hobbies. I barely have any hobbies at all. And I'm really trying to get into some new hobbies like reading. And one of the hobbies that I have really started to get into is word search puzzles. I haven't done, y'all, a word search puzzle since I was in school. I remember our teacher, she would always on Fridays, she would give us puzzles to do and sometimes coloring. And other kids in the room, a few of them, they didn't really care to do word search puzzle. I guess I was a nerd because I used to be so excited when she passed around a word search puzzle, and I'll always finish them so fast. It would disappoint me because I would be done with it so quick. But recently, I just got back into doing word search puzzles, and what I like to do, I like to put on some music or mainly just put on a good movie. I'll find a cheesy Hallmark fall movie, and I would just do a word search puzzle while the movie's playing in the background. And another hobby that I started doing is just coloring. I know a lot of girlies, they do a coloring, and one of the things you can do, you can either go on Amazon, probably Walmart or Target, and get a color book that's fall themed. But I probably should say this, but I do this, I honestly just use my iPad. I go on Google and I take a screenshot of a coloring page and I just put it in my iPad journaling app, and I just use that to color. I was like, you know what, I already have an iPad, might as well use it. I know some people, they prefer a paper coloring book, and to me, there's no better time than to take up the hobby of photography than this season right now. Fall has to be the most photogenic time of the year. I swear, every time you go outside, you just want to pick up your phone and just take a photo. When I'm going on my walks, all I want to do is just take a picture of the fall leaves changing, take a picture of the fall leaves. Even when I make my pumpkin spice latte at home, I just want to take a picture of it because it looks so good, and everything just so photogenic. And one year, my dad and my sister, we got home from church with our family, and the house was looking beautiful. The leaves were changing. We were in late October, and we had this one tree in our yard, y'all, that was just like this beautiful golden yellow, and the sun was shining through it, and we just had to take photos. We were already in our Sunday best, and we're like, you know what, we might as well just take a bunch of photos. And I had to say that was really fun. So definitely get into your photography era. And also another one that I started doing is reading. I have been trying to replace doom scrolling with reading more books. And if you haven't read anything this year, there's no judgment there. There's not a race or anything, but I recommend start back reading again this fall season. There's so many cute, cozy books to read around this time of the year. If you need some suggestions, I recommend you check out the video I made a few weeks ago of all the books that I plan to read this fall season. So watch the video and just get some ideas on what to read. And another hobby that I really want to get into is just cooking and baking. I was on TikTok the other day, and there was this girl, she was giving a lot of recipes for a crock pot, and there were soups and stew and all that stuff, and it looked really good. So I was like, I gotta get to my cooking era. I said I was gonna try to bake and cook in the past, and I just haven't did it. But I have started baking. I don't know if it even count. I would just buy pre-made dough, put it in the oven. I don't think that really counts, but I want to get into cooking and baking where I make stuff from scratch and put it in the oven, do it. And maybe I could just do it once, maybe you could do it once a week. And this hobby right here is for my writers. I would recommend y'all start writing a short story, especially if you spent all year working hard on your main projects, your books and your drafts, and especially when you have writer's block. One of the things I like to do when I have writer's block, I love just stepping aside from the book and just write something else. And I just recommend embrace short stories. Write a short story about fall time, about being in the fall season, falling in love, or maybe a murder mystery or romance or whatever floats your boat. I recommend just pick up a new story to start working on. And another hobby I enjoy doing in my free time is just scroll on Pinterest and just making a mood board. Like I told y'all in my other videos, I am obsessed with Pinterest. Pinterest is probably my favorite app, one of my favorite apps. And I just love making mood boards of how I want this season to be. I already made my mood board for Pinterest, but I still can't help but scroll on Pinterest and just romanticize this time of the year. Just looking at photos on Pinterest just really gets me excited for all to come for this time of the year. And along with your mood board, y'all, make a fall bucket list. Get out a sheet of paper or go to Canva and just design yourself a cute little template and just write out your fall bucket list. I went on Canva and just designed my bucket list paper, and I just put it on my iPad journal, and I just started journaling. What do I want this fall season to be like? Don't just make a bucket list and never touch it, because I have done it before many times. I make a bucket list, said I want to do all this, and haven't even done anything except one or two things on that whole list. And I feel like that's because I don't make time in my calendar to do the stuff I say I want to do. And you make time for other stuff like errands you gotta run, appointments you gotta make, and a whole bunch of other life responsibilities. And I get that, that's very important. You can't miss that. But I feel like we need to schedule and make time for fun. Life is already hard, y'all. It's already stressful, and we always make time for the stressful, boring, mundane things we have to do, our adult responsibilities. But at the same time though, when do we ever schedule things just for fun, just for relaxation, just for pleasure? We need to start doing that more. And I know it may not be realistic to do everything on your bucket list, but I have to say, y'all, it still is fun to make a bucket list. I don't care if I do hardly anything on there, I'm still gonna make a bucket list. I don't care. But I would say just schedule at least a couple of things that you feel like you could realistically do this year. For me, on my bucket list is go to the fair. I am going to schedule a time when I'm actually going to go to the fair. And on my bucket list, I already put decorate my bedroom for fall. I already did that, y'all. Watch a video. Links in the description if you want to watch that. But put it on your Google Calendar, your Notion, or reminder app, whatever you do to remind yourself. And I would say just schedule at least 5 things that you could realistically do this season, and that's a win. If you do at least 3 to 5 things on that list, I would say that's a win. You already completed your bucket list. And also, what makes it fun, invite family and friends to go with you. But you can, if you want to, call it like a solo date, a me time, just do it yourself. So this part I did not put on my script or outline, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Romanticize your mornings and your evenings. I know your own mornings are kind of hectic, especially when you have kids or a family and you're trying to rush to work and take care of your family. But I would say I recommend just do at least 1 or 2 things that get you excited for the day and just make your day a little bit happier. And that could just be simply lighting a candle. I have a candle in my bathroom that's apple pie scent, and sometimes when I do my makeup in the morning, I like lighting that candle and just doing my makeup and my skincare. Or even instead of having your ordinary breakfast, maybe have apple flavored oatmeal, or maybe have pumpkin spice pancakes. Instead of your usual coffee, try to do a pumpkin flavor. I know Starbucks has pumpkin and they have pecan flavor, but I know everybody wants the apple flavor to come back. Just do a small 1 or 2 things that get you into fall season. Maybe just wear a sweater that goes with this year's fashion. I'm not really into the fashion world. And in the mornings, if you have time, maybe just even go for a walk. I started doing walks in the mornings, and the air is just so crisp and the leaves are changing color, and sometimes I see the wind blow and the leaves fall out of the tree. And this morning I went outside, journal, I did Bible study, and for a moment I just paused and just looked around the area. I just looked around at nature, and I just listened to the sounds of the animals making noises in the neighborhood and the wind blowing and people going up and down the street, going to work and doing other things. It just really got me in the mood for fall. It really set the tone for my day, because when you start the day right, it makes the rest of your day feel a little bit better. And already I just feel like I'm having a really good day right now. And even if you don't have time for that in the morning, do it at night. Make time to make your night good. Read a book, like I said in my other video about making time at night, to read a book in bed, brew some tea. Even you just read 1 page, I feel like that's a win. Get some cozy fall pajamas and wear it, or maybe watch episode of Gilmore Girls. Maybe make time for the Hallmark movie. Just do small things that just get you excited for this time of year in the morning or in the evening, because sometimes that's probably the only time we have during our busy day to do these things. Fall isn't about spending all your money on trendy things or all the things you see on social media. Fall to me is about slowing down and just being intentional and aware of the seasons that are changing. To me, it's about the simple little rituals that are no longer ordinary but are magical. That could be as simple as adding pumpkin spice creamer to your everyday coffee, or putting on a fall playlist on your way to work. And to me, fall is about going outside, looking out at the nature, at the leaves changing, letting the cold, crisp air touch your skin, and feeling relief that the summer heat is gone. But anyway, guys, that's all I had to say for this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. Ideas, inspiration, even took some tips. And let me know in the comments below, what tips are you going to use for this season? And subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.